Folks, ET here, coming at you with the next part of our new crash course, which is TradyFlow, renamed Repeat Flow here on our menu buttons. But I don't want you to confuse this Repeat Flow with the Repeat Flow we covered in the previous video of Live Flow. All right, so Repeat Flow is a bunch of orders getting hit at once, and a couple important things. You can still do some things here where you can click and see what their net flow looks like, what their news looks like, all of that information there. But let's talk about some of the settings very quickly to see how those can pan out. One, sound notifications when one hits, browser notification when one hits. Very simple there. You can reset everything by going to reset. Top plays are things that end up working out very well. As you can see, GE did very well. SMCI, Gold, SOX also as well. We're going to reset that and go back up and just refresh real quick and see and go through some of the actual filters to see. So here are some important things to keep in mind. One, remember when I talked about watch lists and how it was important to build them? If you're looking for stuff just within a particular sector, because maybe you've seen inflow or outflow or a lot of dark pool prints going through in a particular sector, you can go through and you can choose one of your sectors. Two, a very important thing that you might want to look at is if it's calls or puts or volume over OI, or how many orders, or if it's a bullseye match. One of the things that I definitely like to click is 1 million in premiums, just to see how it's looking, to see if there's any information there, if anything has changed. So you can see a few days ago, XLE got hit multiple times, just 5 orders. So it's a little low per each, which is a little low for each one. But let's go ahead and see how we can check to see if they're still in the position, right? You click that plus button as you go along. 100 is the target price, and as you can see here, they've not sold anything. You'll start to see red bars where they start to sell. We're going to exit out of that, and we're going to find one that maybe somebody has sold some stuff on, so you can just see that as we go along to know what it looks like. Nope, somebody is still very short CCL as we speak as well. All right, let's see here. Maybe McDee's. Let's see if they've sold any of that position. Nope. Oh, just a little bit. There we go. Now you can kind of see. All right. Buy. Just a little bit of sell, but they're still mostly in this position. They have not sold the majority of their position, and they're still waiting for that target strike of 280 to hit. So interesting to see. Very important to look at is check to see if they're still in the position. Next thing I want to talk about is these lower orders aren't necessarily the best thing that we're looking for. What we're looking for, really, for me, is to start at 10 plus to start to sort through that a little bit. So we're going to reset our filter here, and we're just going to say 10 plus orders and see where we look. So this is what we have now. Looking for our information, we can sort by expiry or the spot or the bid ask if we want. We can sort by orders, but you can see here, gosh, that DIS one that we discussed has just been going very, very, very well. It went way above 120, so interesting look there as we go along. And then you just check, right? 10 plus is a good spot to start. I'll say that the next spot we want to go to is 25. So we really haven't had a whole lot of 25s lately, but as you can see, a lot of them end up being pretty successful if you start to look through price. Save definitely went down there. All right, probably way below. GDX has been doing very, very, very well as it's gone along. So it's very interesting to see they still have time. Look at that. The strike is 30. We haven't even hit that yet, and it's well above that now. So you can see how these things work out as they go along. 25 plus is really, really the bee's knees when it comes down to everything. I like to start with 10 plus. I like to look. I also like to just check through and see what their net flows look like I showed you, see if there's any news, and then take a look at overall market sentiment or sector sentiment. If you see something get hit like these SOX puts, well, that looks pretty interesting as chips have been going up a lot lately, minus a few. So these SOX puts could be an indication that maybe chips are going to see a little bit of downside coming up, and that's pretty far out of the money, to be honest. That's a good $11 drop, so one to definitely keep an eye on. TradyFlow is that simple, folks. There's no real reason to get too confused over this. Don't just blindly hit anything that you see here. Sort through and see what makes sense, especially if you start to see sectors all getting hit at once. If you start to see a bunch of energy things and a bunch of metals things getting hit, there might be a good indication that energy and metals might run some more. Like we have Oxy here. It's got 10. Oxy's been doing pretty well along with ZOM, and we've had some ZOM TradyFlows come through. So that's the simplest part to go through, is just find the ones that have a lot of flow, a lot of orders, going through, and then check to see if they're still in, and that do a little bit of TA on your own to make sure you feel comfortable with the entry and where it's going and the sector it's going, and then go ahead and then place your orders for where you feel comfortable with. That is all for TradyFlow, folks. It is that simple. It is not a confusing thing to use. Don't get it mixed up with repeat flow, even though it says repeat flow here from our live flow. Just know that there's kind of the two names there. One repeat flow gives you the repeat flow inside of live flow that catches everything really quickly, and frequently those things end up showing up in here as well. That's all for now. Everybody stay safe out there.